Welcome to Down Home with Tina. So excited with the guests that I have for you this week. We are going to catch up for the first time as mayor of the city of Lancaster, Mayor Don McDaniel. And then also we're going to learn about the campaign that's going on for the United Way of Fairfield County and all of the wonderful services and different nonprofits that they help to fund to keep some of those nonprofits to go on. And it's really surprising because we sometimes take things for granted and different nonprofits, which they are, most all nonprofits that I know of, it's usually some type of event that they have to have, fundraiser that they have to have, but they also can apply for grants and things like that. And one of them is with United Way of Fairfield County. So maybe you're going to learn something, as I always learn something new about what we have to offer here in Fairfield County. So stick around, folks, coming up here in just a minute. It is Down Home with Tina.
Dagger Law has more than 110 years of experience in nearly every aspect of the law. When we're not just helping clients, we're helping the community. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and around town because we live and work here too. We are your neighbors, and we want to help you when you need it. When we help each other, we're stronger. Our community is stronger. Creating a strong, vibrant, healthy, and safe community is everyone's responsibility, and we take the responsibility seriously. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I have Mayor McDaniel with me of the city of Lancaster, and I'm so very excited. Oh my goodness, so I had you on the last time. It's been a few years.
It's been a couple of years, yes.
Yes, you were my veteran of the month.
Yes.
And I highlighted you. So you are, they say once a Marine, always a Marine.
That's absolutely true.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you are a Marine, just not an active Marine.
Right.
In the military anymore, of course. So highlighted you for that, but at that time, I don't think we had any type of discussion whatsoever that you were looking to run for mayor of the city of Lancaster.
No, it wasn't even on my radar at the time.
Were you a part of city council at that time?
So at that time I was working for the Parks Department, running the recreation department for Lancaster Parks. Swimming pools, soccer, softball, everything recreational.
Yeah.
So shortly after that, sometime within the next couple of months after sitting down with you, Mike Fracassa, who was second ward councilman, announced that he was leaving the city and moving. A job came available in Indiana, and he moved and took a job in Indiana. Okay. So it opened a second ward position on city council. And I spoke with David Ohl, and it's like, you know what? I think I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
So I was appointed to second ward.
Okay.
And then the following year, I ran for election as an at-large council person, and I was elected. So I did 2 terms at at-large council, and probably about 2 years before the mayor's position became open, Dave Scheffler had let it known that he wasn't going to run for re-election, and apparently, unbeknownst to me, there were discussions about who might run and who might consider it.
Okay.
And my name was out there, and so I was approached by a few people, and I don't think he'd mind me saying this, but Mayor Dave Smith, retired mayor, and a few others, and asked me to consider it.
Okay, they did. So they were having conversation.
Right.
And you had absolutely no idea. Had you had any, did you want to? Had you
It wasn't something that I had thought that I would ever do.
Okay. Why did you even consider city council?
So I thought city council, I thought I could bring my public safety experience, my police chief experience to the table, and the police and fire departments, general fund departments, a big part of the budget. And I thought that experience would be helpful, and it was.
Good.
So what transpired after that was essentially, I thought about it for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I was reapproached several times, and ultimately I made the decision to run.
Nice.
So here I am.
Here you are. So, and I do want to say, I have wanted to get you on. It's been quite some time now, and I'm like, it's time. It is time now. So I know that we had mentioned just a little bit before we got started here about the income levy. That was the levy, and I remember it well. The levy to help gain more of those, and for the firefighters, we needed more firefighters to staff those, and for the city of Lancaster, as well as the city of Lancaster Police Department. And I was all for it. I feel like that safety in our city and our community is very, very important. And if you don't have the right numbers, how are we going to have a safe community? So with you coming in on it, were you involved with that at all?
As city council person, I was involved in some of the decision making on what we would ask the community to support and what that levy would be used for. And the decision was made that it would be a police and fire safety levy to try to improve and enhance our ability. So essentially, Mayor Dave Scheffler deserves the lion's share of this credit, along with a citizens group that advocated for the passage of the tax. And there's a lot of people that deserve some credit for passing the income tax, but what that has enabled us to do, and these numbers are kind of staggering. The Lancaster Police Department gets 70,000 calls for service a year. And a lot of people don't realize how significant that is. Lancaster Fire is very busy. And so as they decided how they would approach the community about supporting the levy, there were several promises made. And the promises were made that we would increase staffing at the fire department to allow for a fourth medic.
Yes.
Which has has been honored. That promise has been honored.
Yay,
we are currently at full staff at the Lancaster Fire Department, and we have 4 medics in service. And
awesome.
There are still people in training. Some of those people still need to finish some training, but yet we are staffed as promised to that proper staffing level to make sure that when you call 911 in Lancaster, you're getting a trained paramedic and a Lancaster squad and a Lancaster Fire. And we made the same promise for police.
Yes.
We were sitting at probably at low 60s as police officers 3 years ago. And today we sit at 76 police officers. What that does for the community is when you call 911, an officer is likely to be available to respond to your call. You'll see more officers out on the street. You'll see more officers in the neighborhoods, in the alleys, at 3 o'clock in the morning behind businesses. So you'll enhanced public safety.
Yes. We have, and not only since then, we have a K-9. What?
Actually, we now have 3.
3 now. Okay,
Yes.
I knew the 2, and I was like, a third.
So, yeah, the
Nice.
third one's new. I mean, I think about 3
very
months he's
Okay,
been in
okay,
service.
so very new. Okay. I have to get,
But that does allow coverage 24 hours a day.
yep.
And a great program. It allows for a lot of things, but everything from drug interdiction to looking for a lost child. There's so many benefits to having a K-9 unit.
How has it changed just since you've been in office, do you see, in our community? Even because I would think that even within our community, we would feel safer.
I think we're finally seeing the impact. So when you hire a police officer, as you may know, if they have to go to the academy, it takes several months, and then they have to come back and they get a field training officer assigned to them. And we call it coaching. They get coaching for another 3 to 4 months before they actually can go out on the street and serve the public as an individual police officer. We're now seeing that most of them, or many of them, have moved on from training and they're out serving the community.
Nice.
But what that does, at 63 officers, which is what we had when I left the police department, you're literally responding from call to call. So as people call for service, you're responding to the call, and then you have the next call and the next call. It doesn't allow a lot of proactive policing, which is where we're at now. We're able to do that. We're more likely to encounter a situation on the street by the officer observing it than being called to respond to it. At least it gives you that opportunity.
Right.
If I'm running call to call, I'm not doing anything proactive.
Right, right.
So.
Well, I don't know what it was like for you when you were the chief of police and how it was back then. But because I do a lot of sitting back and looking at things and kind of like, because me doing some things and teaching at a detention center, I look at what are our juvenile detention officers, and I look at the kids, and then I think of, okay, I know it's a huge, bigger, broader spectrum of we have our police, and then we have the citizens of the community. And watching the JDOs build a rapport in our facility, and then watching our police department trying to build some type of, you know what, we're here to help you and protect you. And I called myself as a teacher, not a mediator, but that person in between, going, you can't do that. That's the rule. You know, we're not trying to be all mean, and, you know, there are rules to follow.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to catch them at a young person.
You brought up another point that with the increased staffing, we're able to do more of that.
That's what I was thinking of. That.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, our community services unit, which I'm sure you've talked to Sergeant Simmons before.
Absolutely, yes.
And our director patrol unit.
Yes.
Are both, now director patrol is more for the enforcement, but they're also in the community and interacting with people. And certainly community services and DARE and those programs are all about reaching out and building bridges and establishing relationships.
Yeah, it is. Because, I mean, we were trying to get away from that years ago where, oh, don't say any, or be good, because that police officer will come get you. No, that's not what it's about.
We'd actually prefer,
to protect you.
We don't go that route. We're here to help you.
Yeah, that's exactly what. And I think that when we get to that mindset, just like I'm trying with youth, you get that mindset that they're really here to protect you and to help you to get where we want to see you to be. And that's in a different mindset of positivity and everybody doing good for good. You know, if it was in a perfect world, Mayor.
Yes, yeah.
Tina's perfect world of everybody get along nicely. But no, yeah.
Just the best world we can have, you know, and have people helping each other. And I think, you know, to finish up, like the idea of what we're able to do with more funding for police and fire.
Yes.
That means we have that fourth medic, which is, you know, a medic unit is very expensive. But we also have state-of-the-art equipment on the fire side. For instance, 5 years ago, our firefighters, if they had to go to the fourth floor of a building and transport someone down, they did it by lifting that person. They still do some lifting, but nothing as significant as they used to. They now have cots that can literally help you come down a stairwell.
Wow.
You know, and alleviate that back injury or whatever it might be.
Right. Yeah, it's probably a lot quicker.
Yeah, a lot quicker, a lot safer for everybody.
Right, yeah. So what do you foresee in the future, you as mayor?
So I foresee us fulfilling the promises we made to the community regarding the income tax levy, making sure police and fire are full staff with the proper equipment to do the job. We're looking at, you know, we passed a $3 million levy about street improvements. So building sidewalks and improving streets and replacing curbs, and those programs are all ongoing. You're going to see a East Main Street safety improvement. You may not know this, but from Ewing Street out to the homeless shelter, there is no sidewalk.
Okay.
So we now have a grant from the state, and you're going to see those sidewalks being built over the next year or so. And I think it's a major safety project.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting people off the street so they can safely walk. And right now, you can't really be, if it's raining or whatever, you can't be off the street. So they're walking in the street from the homeless shelter, far east side, all the way into Ewing Street. And we need to improve that. And there's other areas. We're looking at pedestrian safety on Memorial Drive. We're looking at, you know, improving with the county's acquisition of the transit system, improving transit countywide. So we're excited about a lot of things.
Oh, good. So I know this might be too soon to ask, but this is your first term. Is it going to be your last, or do you see yourself continuing on? In other words, is this just the beginning, Mayor McDaniel?
I would say it's just the beginning.
Yay! I know you have a lot of fans out there, so I may or may not be one of them. Sorry.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, and good luck to everything, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks for having me.
You're great, absolutely. Folks, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. It's Down Home with Tina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
What makes Fairhope what it is our staff. It's It's always a question that we ask, why do you want to be here with us? And what they most always say is, you've touched my life this way. You know, you took care of this person, or I've seen what you've done and I want to do that. And so the staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
It's Downhill with Tina, and I have Christine Simmons. She is the Executive Director of United Way of Fairfield County. And I think I had said this last time she was a guest on the show. We go way back to when we were like 19. I'm not saying that was way back, but it was a minute ago.
It was a minute ago, yes.
So, yes.
Way back at River Valley Mall.
And yes, when it was thriving and it was great and we could go shop and there's this, anyways, that was a while ago. And look at you.
I know.
Who would have thought
So much has changed
Capizio
with
brought both of us to
I
this
know.
now?
I would have never guessed back then.
Right, yeah. Hey, Christy, well, you could be Executive Director of United Way of Fairfield County one day.
I know.
You'd be like, huh?
I know.
I was like, then I didn't even know United Way, honestly. I was in my late teens.
Neither did I.
Didn't have any idea. Didn't, thankfully, have the need for
Right.
anything like that.
Right.
So, but with that being said, a lot of people may not, I don't want to say a lot of, we see, if you go downtown, you'll see sometimes, the United Way, the big, with the lights
Sign
and stuff,
during
and the signs and
campaign.
things like that. Yeah, during campaign,
Yes.
which is going on.
Absolutely. We're
Yes.
getting ready for campaign
Yes.
season. We're in the midst of campaign season, hitting the streets and talking to businesses and getting out there in front of donors and just generating a lot of excitement.
And you said a lot. You work with a lot of different nonprofits and,
We do.
and folks in the community. So what is United Way of Fairfield County?
So United Way of Fairfield County, we are an agency that we raise funds and partner with other nonprofits and agencies here in Fairfield County to meet the needs of community members, those in Fairfield County, so they can thrive. So we have in our mission, we have income, health, and education. So if an agency meets one of those needs, then we are going to do our best to partner with that agency. We have a grant process, but campaign season is exactly to raise those funds to help those allocated agencies.
About how many different agencies do you?
We
would you
currently
say?
have about 20 agencies that we support.
How does an agency qualify? You said if it has to do with one of those three.
Okay, so currently United Way of Fairfield County is on a 3-year allocation process. So our next grant cycle will be in January of 2026.
Okay.
So, but when you give to United Way, you can designate not just to our allocated agencies, but any 501c3. So it's really cool. We are going to make sure wherever you want your dollars to go, that we get it there. And we have a lot of people that take advantage of that. They like the idea of fair share giving. They like the idea of payroll deduction. They want to give. And then when you give them the option to choose something that means something to them or has personally touched their family, they love that.
So you have to be, in order to get one of the grants, you have to be one of those 20?
After
Right?
when we go through the grant process and
yes.
our impact councils that are made up of tons of community leaders and volunteers here in Fairfield County, after they go through their process and they do their interviews, and we designate dollars and choose who we're going to support, and it's just beautiful.
And you have a list of those for folks
I
to be able to
do.
see and say, hey, this is what we
Yes.
want to do when we give.
Yes, absolutely. When I go out right now making campaign speeches, our campaign and event coordinator, Garrett Davis, this is his first campaign season, so he's going out making campaign speeches, and that's what he's doing. He's telling those potential donors, the agencies that we support, like the YMCA, the Lighthouse, Foundation Dinners, Foundation Shelters, Lutheran Social Services, Lancaster, Fairfield County Community Action. I can go on and on.
Yes,
We
you
have so many big brothers, big sisters.
Yeah.
So he's telling a little bit of their stories at each campaign, and we are reaching out to people, and that's typically how a donor will make a connection. Just like you said, I wasn't familiar all those years ago what United Way was when we were working at River Valley Mall. I had no idea until I was an adult that I actually had been personally touched by some of those agencies that United Way supported.
Yes.
Actually, during those years that I was working at the mall as a teenager. So when I discovered that, I think that's where my passion for United Way and the work, it just grew.
Yeah. So you and you mentioned Garrett. You two are only two of the people that are a voice for all of these different nonprofits. I know they have their own voice as well.
Oh, they do.
But you are an added voice to help others to learn about. So it is really so many people coming together to help you all to get to spread the
Advocate
love
for them.
and the advocate
Absolutely.
and the
I like to
the
say
funds of
that
what
we
can
want to
help
get
them
their
grow.
stories out.
Yes.
We want to tell their stories. Most of those people running these agencies, they have such a passion for the
Yes,
work
they
do. And we want to keep them working towards their passion.
Yeah.
We want to keep them focused on Big Brothers, Big Sisters,
Yes.
feeding the hungry at foundation dinners, sheltering them at foundation shelters. And so if we can go out and raise the funds for them while they're doing that great work, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
So volunteers, are you in need of volunteers? Are
We're
they a part
always-
of the campaign process?
Yes, we are
The
always in
campaign.
need of volunteers. I always say if you can't give financially, always give of your time. My mother really instilled that in me, that you can always give back. There's a way to give back. So yes, United Way uses volunteers year-round for all our fundraisers. Even in the office, as simple as taking some time to help us fold letters, put labels on postcards to advertise campaign and different events. And then obviously our biggest event is Community Care Day, which we just had, and normally takes hundreds and hundreds of volunteers in our community.
Share a little bit of that for those folks who are like, I might want to participate in something like that for next year.
So Community Care Day always ends up being the second week. It's held during the second week of September. This year we did it on a Thursday. It's typically on Wednesday. This year we did September 12th. And it's just an event that we use to just get the community really hyped up and excited for our campaign. And then it's also a day to give back. So you'll see hundreds of volunteers across the county. The high schools send tons of students, businesses send lots of volunteers, and on their work day, they spend the day from 9 to 2, sometimes 3, working all kinds of projects, probably 40 to 50 some projects throughout the county.
Wow. So I do want to find out a little bit about the campaign process and those who want to give. Do they do a one-time give monetarily? How does that work?
Well, traditionally, United Way has always been based on employee giving, where we get in front of businesses and we tell them about United Way, and we get their employees really excited to give. And there's options like fair share giving is 1 hour per month of your pay. So, and it just comes from payroll deduction. So that's been popular throughout the years, and really what United Way has been based on. But we make it easy for you to do whatever you want as far as giving.
So if somebody wants to write a check, they can just come
one-time giving, use a credit card or a debit card to do, every month or every quarter, or even bill me.
What is your very favorite thing about being executive director at United Way of Fairfield County?
I just had this conversation with one of our agency directors the other day, and I'm telling you, it's the work with the agency directors. When they come in and they say thank you, or they tell you a story of how they were blessed by United Way funds, and they actually tell you stories of how they're helping people out in our community, that's what does it for me.
Oh my goodness, I would probably cry.
I do. I cry often.
Tell me that. They're like, Miss T, you cry all the
Yes.
time. I'm like, maybe not all the time, but when it just hits you and you go, when there's an impact such as that, Christine, it is powerful in the heart. And that's what just giving and doing. I mean, it's your career. Lucky you.
I know,
to
I
get
am
to
pretty
witness
lucky.
that regularly.
I am pretty lucky.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is contact information for folks, or what should they follow for anybody that might be interested and they want to become one of those agencies? or if they just want to volunteer, anything, you have any questions at all.
Any information at all that you need, we just ask you to go to uafairfieldco.org.
Okay.
And then you can always follow us on Instagram and Facebook too. And that's just a wonderful outlet to find out what we're up to, lots of events, and we're always doing our best to share anything else going on in the community for our agencies as well.
Wonderful. Good luck with everything. And the campaign goes until, how long does it go till?
It'll go to the end of the year. We
year.
typically let it go and through the end of January. We like to wrap up.
Perfect. Yeah. And then you're ready for the next year, and then just keep on going, right? You just keep on going. I know, Christine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good luck.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And I will catch you again. I know I will.
Absolutely.
Folks, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. It's Downhill with Tina.
I believe recovering from self is one of the bravest things that anybody can do. And it is an absolute honor to be able to witness people evolve, grow, find purpose in their lives.
The reason why I do what I do is I love helping people, and I really love to work on understanding and striving to improve the lives of the people in our community. Being in Fairfield County is having a network of people around you.
I like helping veterans, and I think I like that my job is never the same day to day. Every day brings a new set of challenges to overcome and new people to help, so it's always changing.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Downhill with Tina is brought to you by these amazing sponsors. Well, as most of you know by now, that I will substitute sometimes at a detention center. And one of the programs that I did and worked with the youth this past summer was a program that encouraged the youth to give me positive quotes. I am a firm believer that when you do something on a regular basis, then you will end up beginning to think more like that. So when you have youth in a detention center, yes, it is juvenile detention is jail for them, then trying to instill positivity can be quite challenging. However, when you encourage them and they get incentives, then eventually they will just start throwing positive quotes to me. And it is something that I absolutely love. So recently I had a youth say to me when I was there, hey, will you give us a shout out? They've been doing really, really well in things. And I thought, you know, I can't necessarily do that, but this is what I can do, is I can share a positive quote. So the positive quote that was given to me on the day that I was asked about the shout out is, the best view comes after the hardest climb. And folks, again, a firm believer, he just spat that right out at me. The youth did, and I thought, that's pretty cool. Therefore, with that quote, I wanted to share, keep climbing, and when you reach to the top, don't forget to turn around and help someone else up. Because then, when you do that, you never know that maybe one day you may need the same. And it could be that person that you taught them to be positive. So there you go. Folks, I hope you have a great one. Thanks for watching the show this week. God bless and good day. It is Downhill with Tina.